Thank you very much, Lori, for that introduction, and I'm so privileged to be here with you all today at the Founders District. It's my pleasure to be able to moderate this portion of the event. Just like your clubs, the district has several positions, as Lori mentioned and others have mentioned, that are responsible for the district's driving success. We call them the trio and the PRM, who, while they're part of the bigger seven, they really have key roles. And today we're going to talk about what those roles, responsibilities are, and how each of them collectively work together, but have specific tasks that they must perform to fulfill their requirements. So to help you understand each role, we've asked some friends of district founders or Founders District to share some of their job experiences as that role. And I am first up to talk about one of my favorite roles, the Club Growth Director, which I will lovingly refer to as CGD. Now, as Club Growth Director, that was a great experience for me. It was one where I was able to continue that close relationship with the clubs that I had as area director. And I thought that it was one that would be challenging, but as Julie mentioned, I put together a tremendous team to help me to make it fun and not overburdened. I was under the guidance, as all club growth directors are, of the area or the district director, Perrin Shannon, who was a great inspiration and mentor to me. Again, you're not alone. You have all these people that will help you be successful in the role. And I was tasked to really show our members at large, as well as non-members, the value and benefits of becoming a Toastmaster. As Muhammad said, it is more than just becoming a better speaker, communicator, leader. It's really developing skills that will help you in life as you learn to be a better collaborator, delegator, and different things. I loved working with the area and division directors, where we had to, again, work with that public relation manager to put in motion the plan that you developed in the very beginning of your term as club growth director as part of the success plan. I oversaw the district marketing, and we were asked to be so creative and innovative. And especially in this time of COVID, the current district club growth directors really were able to expand and get outside of the box to be able to do their job. I developed programs to foster and to be sure that the clubs became successful. The promotions helped invigorate those struggling clubs or build stronger membership and engage members to quality clubs, which then fostered that whole idea of what Toastmasters brings in value and benefits. Each club chartered, each club saved, each member celebrated, made that role of club growth director so valuable and so worthwhile. Now, with great pleasure, I would like to introduce the next speaker. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster, Serena McCullough. She was a past program quality director in District 52 and currently is the public relations manager in District 100. And she'll speak to you about her experience as public or as program quality director. Please welcome Serena.
I'm having some technical difficulties. I apologize.
Is it your camera or what? We can hear you. We just can't see you, Serena. Hello.
All right. Well, let's see if this works. And you guys see me.
Yeah, very
And
nicely.
hear me.
There you go.
Woo-hoo.
Perfect.
It's a miracle. All right. My talk is about being the program quality director. That was one of the most incredible experiences I've had in my entire life. And I know I'm young, so what does that tell you, right? What do I know about incredible experiences? But the thing is, being in charge of people takes a certain kind of person, because you have to start with the concept that you're not in charge. We like to think that when we're, the boss, or we have a title or whatever, that we are pretty much solely responsible. It's all on us. But the truth is, leadership, as many of my previous speakers have talked about, it's about sharing responsibilities, about bringing others on board and getting them to be their greatest self. Their leadership experiences are meant to make them into an incredible leader. The first thing that I learned about being program quality director is that we had to, well, all of those that were program quality directors had to put on a number of events. If anyone's ever managed a wedding or a corporate event or something like that, that's the equivalent. And maybe the biggest event I had managed at that point was a 20-person birthday party. Maybe a coworker, is having a baby shower. That's what I had experienced. And it really pales in comparison to the amount of work and time and effort. But the great thing about it is, when I had been program quality director, I'd previously served as club growth director. So going from one position to the other helped me build the skills to get the individuals that would help me become the best program quality director I could be. The secret of leadership that a lot of people won't tell you is that if you get incredible people around you, that will make you look good. And the benefit of that is that you can then turn around and shine the light on those people. Because again, it's not about you, but you want to surround yourself by incredibly smart people. So when they say, wow, that event was amazing, you can say yes, because I had an incredible team working around me the entire time. You start learning about all the work that goes into it. And when you get the work divided up and you have 20, 50 people, and I had at least that many working on this event, that ended up being able to go incredibly smoothly, considering all the tiny little details that had to happen, because I had that many people working on it. There were at least 5 people on registration. There were 2, I actually had 2 co-chairs, because I knew that I would want 2 people, and they happened to be great friends, and they worked well together. Their relationship worked very well. And that ended up helping me enable to make the best conference that I could have. But it's not just about events. A lot of program quality director is about inspiring others to continue on their leadership journey, which means continuing on their path towards DTM, to take a leadership role, to fulfill whatever they're working on so they can meet their Toastmaster goals. We all came here for something, and that's how I started out. One thing that I ended up doing, which was a little different, was to start taking surveys, find out, are people interested in leadership in the very beginning of the year? Where do they want to get in their educational program? At that time, Pathways was still a little bit new. We had it, but it wasn't 100% integrated. So I started finding out, do you want to learn about Pathways? Do you want to take your first steps? If you ask people, you'll be surprised by the answers you get. The other thing we also did is we asked for feedback throughout the entire year for all of our events, for all of our trainings. And that way we ended up getting what people really wanted to know, what they really were interested in. And we had record turnouts for our leadership training. We had record turnouts for our educational and for our conference. We filled the room. We ran out of food. We ran out of seats. That's what you can, if you have that at your event, you know that you did something right. And again, it was my team, the people that I worked with, that helped me. As you go up through leadership, you'll find that you meet more people that are like-minded, that want to help change the face of the world. And you can do that in Toastmasters, one step at a time, one leadership position at a time. If you're thinking about whether you should take the plunge, take it. Take that next step, because you have a family waiting for you to help you succeed, and then those after you succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Serena, for that excellent job. All right, so now we will move on to that position, the top dog, the district director. And sharing her experiences as district director, we have distinguished Toastmaster Maria McDonald McNamar. I'm sorry, IPDD, District 9. And District 9, if you remember from the map that was shown, is way up in Washington and Oregon. So please welcome Maria to talk to us about her experience as being that district director. Maria?
Thank you. Can you see my shared screen? Are you able to see that? I'm not sure.
Yes, clear.
Okay. Okay. Hi, I am Maria McDonald McNamar. I am in southeastern part of Washington. We actually cover 3 states, which is northern Idaho, central and eastern Washington, and the northern part of Oregon. So we have a little challenge because we have a lot of distance, but we are a group that is determined. We're one of the smallest groups, and we've come up through a lot of challenges. As district director, I want to reiterate some of the things that some of the other speakers had said. I think it's really important before you become a district director that you make sure you've held the other positions in the trio and other positions going up, because they complement each other. By the time you're a district director, you should know everything that a PQD has done or a club growth director has done, because you've experienced it. And by being a district director, you can be a mentor and a help to someone else. Whenever I'm stuck or not sure about what's going on, I go back to our tagline and some of our mission statements. Tagline, where leaders are made. That's why we're here. We're to become better leaders and better presenters and better speakers. One of the things I would suggest with you is, look at your own why. Why did you join Toastmasters? What is it that you want to get out of it? I shared mine online, a part of my why, and it's always going to be evolving. But the catch is to always stay positive and feel like you can always manage your challenges. Don't run away from them. As directors, we always need to fall back on our club missions. And why are people joining? We empower individuals to become more effective leaders and communicators. And then at a district level, by the time you're here, you're really focused on building new clubs and supporting all clubs and members to become in achieving excellence. So whenever you're doing anything, reflect back on these mission statements. Make sure that everything that you're doing is in support of these missions. The challenge too is to go back to Ralph Medley's theory or theme, which is we learn best in times of enjoyment. And that's one part that keeps you sane. As mentioned earlier, it's easy to burn out. I know I burned out this year, and I loved hearing our first speakers talk about it's sometimes good to take a break, and you'll see why by the time you finish with my presentation. But when you're district director, one of the first things you want to do is get your Bible, which is the district handbook. And that's what a lot of these slides are on. This is your Bible. Anything you have questions about, you really want to go there, but that's not your only resource. But as district director, you'll see that you are responsible for all these people reporting to you, your program quality director, your club growth director. That's part of your trio, your central part. And then you have your division directors, area directors, and the rest of your team. They all report for you. So it's hard for you to take on one task. You're trying to managing and trying to be resourceful and help these other members to reach their goals and achieve it. One of the first things you'll do as a district director is you'll go into this, inside the handbook is a timeline. It tells you what you're going to be doing each month. And if you see right here, this color, this reddish color is everything that you're kind of responsible for in this. And so this calendar, that's what these next ones are going to be doing, going through. But Before that, one of the first things I did, or I found very helpful in this position, is to have a retreat with your trio. That's when you kind of get together and start brainstorming. We did what's called a vision board. We looked at our what the status of our district, and then we actually drew out what are our goals for the end of the year. And we put it on paper and on a board so that we could always reflect on it. And then when we ever had events, we would hold up this vision board. And you know, the first 2 years we did this vision board, we achieved either presidents or select distinguished. This last year when we did it, I couldn't get our team to do the vision board. And guess what? Yes, we had COVID and all these other events, but we didn't meet it. So I always encourage you, make a vision board. It can be simple. Just put the numbers out, and then you kind of monitor as you're going along how you're doing in meeting those. I'm just going to briefly go through these. In July, these are part of that calendar, things that you have to do in each month. In July, you have to make a leadership list. You have all your leaders sign a release form, and you look at that calendar we talked about and signatures. It's very important to do a district success plan. That tells you what you want to do, and it holds everybody else accountable. Work with your team on that. In August, I love August. That's usually when we have our convention. And I'm going to focus a little bit more on that one. The convention is one of my favorite parts of being a district director. That's when you meet wonderful people. Do you notice any of these? This is where I got my bonding with the founders district. You're going to have some training. You'll have some awards. You get to carry this wonderful flag, and you meet some awesome people that you can bounce ideas off of, other district directors throughout the whole world. And what other organization can you meet people who have the same mission, have the same goal from literally the whole world, and you get to experience their cultures and you can understand what they're doing. So you're not alone. Also, you get to celebrate your successes, and they recognize you on an international stage. You meet Daniel Rex, the people in headquarters. This is an opportunity. We nominated one of our members from our club, from our district, for the president's, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called, but it's a president's award. And he actually won it and was celebrated on the international stage. So you see someone in your district who's doing exceptional work, you can highlight them. I can't emphasize enough mentors. Mentors, be one, get some. I have more than one mentor. One is on our line right now, Jesse. He helped me through my whole district year as district director. I couldn't have done it without him. Sometimes I have to ask him, what are some things I can do? Or if I'm having stresses, he walked me through it. He helped me through it. Mentors can be on your level. These people are in my town, and they helped me from the time I was president of a club all the way to district director. I even had mentors that were international presidents. And I think it's very important when you're a district director to get mentors on every level, because these people are resourceful. They've gone through what you've gone through, and they can answer and brainstorm and give you ideas on a different level than on the local level. So I recommend having people high up, people in your district, and even people outside your district. It is so essential for success. I couldn't have gotten it that way without them. Toastmasters, as mentioned, gives you lots of support. This is Richard Peck. He has been supporting us since last year. We had him to come, and when we were doing this whole COVID thing and everything was changing and pathways, he was a guest speaker, and we did a Q&A with him where he explained to us what's going on so our members were not lost. We had a tight connection with our RAs, past and present. And then one time we had a little difficulty as a trio. So we had to have a mediator, and Toastmasters provided that. And it was awesome. We learned so much about how ourselves and how to get along with one another. So Toastmasters, I can't emphasize enough, get mentors, get support. You also get, I was inspired. It's kind of weird. These 3 years when I was club growth director and PQD and district, it was always all female, which is crazy. I would always suggest having a little mix, but it was just so weird how we did that. And we also had an international president that was Lark. I'm like, wow, this is a year of female leadership. But once again, you can see when you go to the international conference, you get really inspired not only by the leaders, but you also see opportunities to see professional speakers, or you get to be a judge for the world champion of public speaking and see those. It's just an exciting time. Carrying the flag, new opportunities. We did this is a sing-along, and I helped Ted Cochran, who was a past international president. He and I worked together and had this fun activity where it's like karaoke. We had people highlight their talents. Just find your fun. And that's so important as a district director. Yes, you have all these milestones that you have to beat every month. And it's good to lay them out. There's also in their district handbook, but it's important to know you're supposed to have fun. Mid-year, you will meet with other directors, other trio teams, and you'll go through some training and have all kinds of meetings, but also make sure you have fun. We found fun on the golf course. A couple of our trio members were having stress, and I said, let's take it out on the golf course. So I put them in a cart where they had to sit together and talk about it, and while I golfed. Okay, yeah, you have to find your fun wherever you can find it. These are other things, deadlines you have to do. Once again, I want to mention that what Ralph Smedley said, we learn in the best moments of enjoyment. You have other people who are becoming leaders. As district director, you are to support them. You're not to do it. You're supposed to empower them and encourage them. And even though we have challenges, last year when I was district director, I had a hysterectomy in November. My youngest son had open heart surgery in September, and he ended up dying in January. And when on that same day,
Maria, I'm sorry to interrupt. Maria, I'm sorry. It's going into our time. You only have 3 to 5 minutes, so I appreciate all the details.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't look at it. But anyway, don't let challenges stop you from anything. You are the leader, and I thank you. That was it.
All right. Thank you very much, Maria. That was a lot of good. I love the photos. Thanks for sharing. All right. And again, my heart goes out to you.
Thank you, Maria, very much. Very informative. We talked about the trio, and you may be wondering what's next. You had so much fun being district director, and now you're IPDD. It's time to consider being the region advisor. Well, you're in luck, because I'm going to talk a little bit about region advisor. Of course, I love this position. This is my second year in doing this, and it has been my pleasure to serve this district for both of the years so far. What exactly is the region advisor? And again, as I mentioned earlier, with COVID, it changed what region advisor roles and responsibilities look like, or really not so much the responsibilities, but how we fulfill meeting those responsibilities. I have to say, in some ways, it has some positives, because if you don't know, I'm from Georgia. And whenever I applied for region advisor, I left it open. You can put me wherever. And so they gave me California. So last year, I was only able to visit districts between July and November. This year, because of COVID, I'm able to zoom in on your meetings, your events, so much more often. And I think that's more impactful for me to get to know you better, but also for you to get to know me. The Time that you can apply is between July 15th and September 30th. And you again must serve as the IPDD to apply. But as Mohammed said, you don't have to do it that year. You can wait a few to decide. In this role, it's one that suits me perfectly because I love to train, I love to facilitate, and this is right up my alley. We are asked to train the district leaders just prior to that international convention in August, where we have our first training with them and are helping them to just get a foundation for their role. And then again in mid-year, in January, we are training them to say, okay, you've had a little bit of time to do your job. How can we say what worked and adjust and give you some more guidance to make the last 6 months even more successful? I'm also supposed to do district visits, and now they're all virtual. But when last year, when I was able to do it in person, I was able to spend 3 or 4 days with each district to get to know the trio and the PRM and the finance and admin managers, was able to visit some clubs, be able to attend different events, to be able to facilitate some training, and really made the relationship that I had with the trio so much stronger. As I said, this year with COVID, it allows me to do the same thing, but just through Zoom, and have those impromptu calls now and then to just, chat about life and make sure the relationships continue. The difference between an RA and an international director is really that an RA, or region advisor, is an operational advisor who guides and supports the district leaders, whereas the international director is really focused on the strategic and fiduciary goals and is part of the corporate organization. Again, I report directly to Richard Peck. Talk about learning from the top. Finally, I'm to help the trio with the success plan and make sure that things are going as they had hoped, or making adjustments, throwing in my experiences to perhaps help them find some creative ways to really reinvigorate the district. I wanted to note that especially last year, that team as region advisors really gave me friends for life. If you enjoy meeting people around the world and being able to expand your family at Toastmasters, I urge you to consider being a region advisor. And with that, enough about me. Let's go on to our last speaker of my section, and that is someone that many of you know. You will have him to talk about what's beyond the region advisor. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster, past international director, and your very own Michael Osur. Michael?
Thank you, Madam Region Advisor. Lori, I found my own picture with Mohammed.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, look at that. And also with past international president Mike Storkey. He's not in full regalia. There you have it. Wow. Well, as international director, you heard about the journey that Mohammed Murad talked about. Well, as international director, you're also on a journey. And if I could share my screen and find here we are. Look, with Lori, you saw the upside down triangle. And while the area director may in some ways be the most important person in Toastmasters or leader, remember we focus on the members, because without members, there's no Toastmasters. And as international president, Mike Storkey says, remember the member. And of course, members are in clubs. And in clubs are in areas, which we heard about, and then divisions. And this gets confusing to everybody. What's next? Well, then you heard regions. We're now in region 2. Our regions changed, but basically Southern California and Hawaii and the Bay Area. Well, half the Bay Area. So that's our region, and you heard from Vicki. But the next level on your journey, if you want to go beyond the district, you don't have to be an RA to become an international director on the board of directors. And then the next step, of course, is the international officers, and we'll talk about that for a minute. So there's 14 international directors, one representing every region in the world. Just 14 of us in the 350,000 members of all of Toastmasters. It's so cool. And what do you have to do? What do you have to be to think about the board of directors? Well, as a district director, you're looking at year by year. On the board, we don't even look 1, 2, 3 years out. We're looking 5 and 10 years out. Where is Toastmasters going for the next 10 years? And I think that's an amazing opportunity because you really get to do the strategic planning, and you're working not just representing your region. That's only a small part of Toastmasters, but you represent every member from over 140 countries. And you're saying, where is Toastmasters going? And that's why I love being on the board. And as part of that journey, you think of yourself as a leader among leaders. First day on the board, you get not 1, but 2 mentors. And then you, in turn, the next year become a mentor. So the leadership and the growth in Toastmasters continues throughout your career. There is no end to learning in Toastmasters. And so what do you do as a board member? Well, you go to a lot of meetings, you're on a lot of committees, and you get to decide or help plan the future of Toastmasters. In addition, in the pre-COVID days and the post-COVID days, you visit districts. Oh my God, did I love that? When I was ID, we got to go up. Our region included Arizona, many trips to Arizona, and the whole country of Mexico. I got to go 3 times because they were doing a reformation, and I had high school Spanish, but I did a crash course in Spanish, and I could even give a table topics in Spanish. And so let me tell you, it changed my life for the better to learn everything about what was going on in Mexico, Arizona, California, and then the world of Toastmasters. But you're an ambassador in and out of Toastmasters. It isn't just, oh, today I'm a board member. Everything you do is scrutinized. If you go to a meeting, look how he dresses. He was rude. No, you're always representing the world of Toastmasters, and you live and breathe it. And it's, on the leadership side, it's a growth opportunity beyond belief. Someone told me that being in the trio was like getting a master's. Well, this is getting like beyond the PhD level. So and if that's not enough, once you've been an international director, you take your year off, you have an opportunity to become one of the officers. And there's the 2 vice presidents, the president-elect president, and then finally your immediate past international president. And then those people really make the decision. How about this for a cool thing? They get to evaluate our CEO, Dan Rex. How is that for an opportunity? But they also set the budgets, and they really help send the direction of where Toastmasters and the board, what kind of things we're going to work on. And of course, they're representing, even at a higher level, all of Toastmasters. But your journey, once you've been an international director or been on the officers, your job is never over. Every year I get appointed to some committee of the of world headquarters, or if you're an officer, right after you come off the board, then you lead the International Leadership Committee, and then you also are on the Past Presidents Committee. So in Toastmasters, it's easy to get in, but you never get out. And I always thought from my very first day when I met besides Richard, when I met my first international director outside our region, I always said, that's what I want to do. I want to be part of that group that's making those kind of decisions, working at that level. And I was so thrilled, honored to be elected in 2016 through 2018 and get to meet all the people and make a difference. And let me tell you, we're always servant leaders. When Vicki did her August training this year, I volunteered to be her Zoom master, and I did whatever Vicki wanted, even as a past international director. And by the way, she's now drafted me to do mid-year training. So like I said, whatever Vicki wants this year, she gets from me. So I think that's a great example. Not Vicki's a great example of I do whatever is needed and whatever is asked. Lori wants me to present here, I present. Next week, I'm presenting in District 100, and Vicki's got me up at 6 in the morning practicing for her training come for January. Lori, I'm going to give you back a few minutes, but let me tell you, the trio is fantastic, but being on the board of directors or being a region advisor, even better. Madam Immediate Past District Director.